Fresh fruit is one of the best things about summer. You can do so many things with it. So we're going to make a dessert today. It's going to be amazing. First, you're going to peel and chop 4 apples. Green ones are great. Usually something a little bit tart. That's perfect. Look at that. Each one of those cubes needs to be about 3/4 of an inch to an inch in size, okay? Great. What we're going to do now is take our crock pot or slow cooker, and we're going to spray the inside of this thing just to bejesus. We're going to make sure that it is all very, very well coated because we're going to put a lot of stuff in here that we don't want to burn, okay? So you make sure you get a good layer of that on there. Then you move all of your apples from the cutting board there into your crock pot, okay? Seems simple enough, right? Now, give her a good shake. Make sure that all of your apples cover the bottom of the crock pot. Perfect. Now, on top of that, we're going to add a cup of blackberries, freshly picked. I wish you'd look at those things, how beautiful. I love them. You can tell they're freshly picked because of the color of them. They say the darker the berry is, the better it is for you. So these have to be pretty high in the healthy scale. We're going to put in about maybe 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, and then same thing with our maple syrup. Just go ahead and put it over the top. Sometimes we like to measure, sometimes we just like to eyeball it and put it in there. I don't want to get too sweet with this, but I do want to make sure that it's delicious. We got 2 tablespoons of brown sugar going in there on top of it. So we got brown sugar and maple and then the natural sweetness of the fruit. And then we're going to add about 1/2 cup of water in there just to make sure nothing sticks to the bottom. Cinnamon, my absolute favorite, fantastic for you. Just go crazy with that stuff. Now, allspice, be careful. Allspice is a lot stronger, okay? So you don't need nearly as much of that. I'd say maybe half of that. There you go. Now then, surprise, tahini. Oh, I love this stuff. It is so good. You've already got a lot of these beautiful sweet things in there. When you add tahini to it, it gives it a really nice little kick, and it keeps from being so overwhelmingly sweet. It gives it a more complex flavor profile, if you will. Beautiful. Once you're done stirring, we're going to work on the crust. What we got here is just a regular old grocery store pie crust. It's easy peasy. They come in those trifold boxes in the refrigerator section. We're going to roll it out to make sure we don't have any kind of tears or dimples in it, just to make sure that we take good care of it like that. Then we're going to make sure that we cut these into quarters. We're going to cut this one sheet into 4, just to make sure that we can get these things done real easy like. I love a homemade pie crust, but sometimes you just do not have the time or the inclination or the energy. So these are a wonderful backup option, okay? So I'm sure somebody's going to have something to say about it. I apologize if that offends you, but hey, we're working on a timetable here. We're going to put just a little dollop of Philly cream cheese in the middle of each one of these squares. Then we're going to add that fruit compote. That's the stuff that we made in the crock pot. We're going to leave it in there for like 3 hours or so, and then you're going to blend it in the blender so you've got this nice, chunky, beautifully textured compote. Next, you're going to take this beautiful egg wash and put it around each edge of each one of these turnovers. It's going to be like a natural adhesive to hold it together. So whenever you crimp it with either your fingertips or your fork, it's going to hold together real, real nicely. So first, we're going to use our fingers just to go ahead and fold those over, put all that goodie right there in the middle, and then use our fingertips to just crimp the sides a little. Then we're going to take our fork and go around each one of these just to make sure that while it's baking, it doesn't open and let all of our goodie out onto the baking sheet. Goodie's what my mama used to call it. Whatever you got in the middle of whatever it is you're cooking, that's the goodie. Also, if you're eating pizza and you got that cheese or whatever that's right there in the middle of where all the pieces meet, that's also goodie. So if you crimp it with your fork, you don't have to worry about your goodie getting out. We're also poking these vent holes in the top and then covering each one on the top with this beautiful egg wash. It'll make it a beautiful color, and it'll help, again, it'll help prevent your goodie getting out through your vent holes that you poked with your fork. Perfect. Now we're going to put it in the oven, 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. And look what we got. These things are perfect. Now here's my thing. These have been cooling for just a minute, okay? So please, please, please do not try to ice these while they're still hot. If you do that, it's just going to melt off and just end up on your baking sheet, and none of them going to stay on top of your turnover. But we've used Cinnamon Toast Crunch icing. We pop it in the microwave for about a minute. Stir it up real good, and then you can just drizzle it all over the top of these beautiful apple blackberry turnovers. Super simple. It's got a few steps, but my goodness, they are good. and it comes out a whole lot better than what you'd buy at the grocery store or at the bakery. A turnover can be a very risky prospect. If you don't make them yourself, Lord only knows what's on the inside of them. So whenever you make them at home, they're just that much better. I also love the glazing part. It is so relaxing to watch this. Oh my goodness. Just like that. Perfect. So once they're cool and once they're iced, what you're going to do is just go ahead and get ready to chow down. Because that's the next step in this. It's only logical. Boom. Look at that, how beautiful. We've got them put together in no time flat. Eat up, y'all. Woo!